is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys another episode of our Road to Regionals VGC series, where I climb the online VGC ladder, learn a lot about VGC from some top players, and ultimately compete in Dallas, Texas for the regional in mid-January. I'm super excited because our guest today is the Butterfree Master. I'm so pumped about this. We've got THATSAplusONE. Philip, what's going on, man?
Not much. I'm glad to be here. How you been?
I'm doing so good, and I'm so excited to showcase what you have for us today. We're going to be talking a lot about kind of the upcoming VGC rules starting in January, featuring Gigantamax Butterfree, which is going to be the focus of this video. And one of the reasons you're on here, and one of the reasons why we're using Butterfree, is because you actually top cut a regional in 2017 with Butterfree. So can you give the aDrive Army a little bit of an idea of what Butterfree does prior and what it does now with its Gigantamax form?
Oh man, so yeah, back in the day, Butterfree used to be kind of like a poor man's Smeargle, but I've always liked Butterfree. It's always been one of my favorites, and I actually feel Butterfree brought a lot more to the table. It was like a flying type, it was a bug type, it got, Rage Powder instead of Follow Me, it got Sleep Powder instead of Spore, but that Compound Ice gave it the big boost. The biggest thing Butterfree brought to the table in previous gens was its flying typing, so you could pair it with next to like a Garchomp or like an Earthquaker, and you could generally just like rinse people going with like huge redirection, huge mix-ups, great Focus Sash user. Butterfree just brought so many options through use of like the Focus Sash, the the Grassium Z to go for Grassium Z Sleep Powder plays, and going into now, I think Butterfree is actually the best Gigantamax Pokemon because its Gmax Befuddle is like super good, and I think it's the only Pokemon in the game that actually gets like better while holding a Choice Scarf. Like, let's think of like common Choice Scarf Pokemon. When they Gigantamax, they lose the effectiveness of the Choice Scarf. And Butterfree actually is dominant with the Choice Scarf, and then losing the Choice Scarf, it can change its moves up, go for Befuddles, go for max Airstreams, and still provide that huge team support that it needs to succeed, while also having grass coverage for Gastrodons in Giga Drain.
Yeah, so lots of cool things going on there, guys. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you guys are new. And, of course, all of Philip's information is going to be in the description below. You guys can use this rental team, of course, which features the Gigantamax Butterfree and the Gigantamax Snorlax. And I encourage you guys to check out Philip's channel, of course. He streams on Twitch. He's on Twitter. He's got the YouTube videos as well, doing a lot of the same stuff I'm doing here for VGC content. But today we're going to actually be jumping on the casual ladder. And the reason for that is because the brand new rules don't actually take into effect until January 4th. And that's what Dallas Regionals is going to be. It allows 7 specific Gigantamax Pokemon, which are Centiskorch, Dreadnought, Sandaconda, Pikachu, Eevee, Snorlax, and Butterfree, of course, as well as Blaze Charizard, not Solar Power Charizard. So those Gigantamax Pokemon will be allowed in the official format coming January, and that's what Dallas, Texas is going to be. So I thought it was kind of a cool thing to not only inform you guys of that, but also show you guys a team that kind of functions that way. So really quickly running through the team here, you've got this Unnerve Tyranitar, which is going to stop the opponent from setting or having their berries activate, which is really nice, stopping those Lum Berries. You've got this super cool Sableye, which quashes the opponent. For those who don't know what quash does, it actually forces them to move last and suppresses their ability to attack at their normal speed priority. So that can be really useful for putting things to sleep or allowing something to attack first. One thing I noticed about this team that I am going to mention is I feel like, I know you kind of threw this together, I think it'd be really cool to throw Earthquake on the Excadrill, simply because you have this great combination of the Togekiss and Butterfree. But you've got Horndrill there, which I love for the meme. So is there anything you wanted to mention about this team before we kind of jump into some battles?
Oh yeah, one little quick thing is that you can expect your opponents to try to counteract your T-Tar Excadrill, expecting the Sandstream Sand Rush, and the fact that we have Unnerve Mold Breaker means we are like really equipped to be able to punish the things that would normally beat like a T-Tar Excadrill. Like a Mimikyu, for example, would have a really good matchup against like a Tyranitar, or like an Excadrill would have a hard time breaking it if it wasn't Mold Breaker. The fact that we have Mold Breaker gives us a lot of options. Also, one of the reasons why I don't really like the Earthquake, more often than not, the T-Tar Excadrill, I want to be able to, I don't know, I really just feel that Earthquake is really good here, but our Excadrill is actually really bulky since it's a vested set, and so you don't really deal that much damage with the Earthquake, especially in like that split damage. So yeah, I feel if you guys like the Earthquake, maybe you guys, let us know.
All right, cool. So let's hop into a couple casual games. Again, we do have to do casual in this regard because the rule set is only available in casual right now, but come January or whenever this season ends, it should update to the next rule set, so that'll be nice. Let me go find the rental team here, which is somewhere. I think it's this one. And basically what I normally do on these things, Philip, is I kind of have, we just kind of bounce back and forth the ideas. I think in this situation, I'd love to hear your thought process. You can either feel free to correct me on what you think, think, but I'll let you make the call on the moves that we make since you're more familiar with this team, and hopefully we can kind of educate the viewers on not only the team, but maybe some strategies on how they can improve or whatever it may be. So while we're waiting for our first game here, I'm going to pick Oleana's music. Do you have any tips? You've been playing since 2011. You've top cut a handful of regionals, 5 or 6 regionals. You've done it with Butterfree. I know you love to bring unique sets, which is kind of like your bread and butter. Do you have any tips for people who are maybe getting into VGC for the first time or maybe thinking about competing at their first event?
Oh yeah, I think that people should just try and use their favorites. That's one of the reasons why like I've done so well with Butterfree. It's my favorite Pokemon, and using your favorites gives you like the potential to actually, you know, play to your fullest potential if you use the Pokemon that you like.
All right, so our opponent here is a pretty standard team we're seeing. Now, I'd be curious how you approach this, because they have fake out pressure with the this Crafty, obviously, and Intimidate, which I could see them leading or definitely bringing to handle the T-Tar Excadrill set. I think that Rotom could be problematic as well, so I'd see those two as being really big threats. And actually, offensively, kind of struggle a little bit with Corviknight too, so I'm really curious as to your thoughts on what you would lead here and what you would bring.
Oh yeah, so this is a perfect example of why Mold Breaker Extra was really good. Rotom would give us a ton of issues if we weren't using a Mold Breaker set. What you can, and you also, like you elaborated to, Scrafty is going to be really, really good against our team because it's good against T-Tar Excadrill. Sable, on the other hand, is really, really good at dealing with Scrafty. It's also really, really good at dealing with the Whimsicott. So if the Whimsicott wants to go for like a Tailwind play, we can always just fake out the Whimsicott, stop Tailwind. We can quash Whimsicott's partner if they pop the Tailwind. So Sable is going to have to be our lead. I feel that Sable has a really, really good lead here, and I feel that Butterfree is actually a really good partner here because we can go for Fake Out, Quash, Befuddles. From there, you want to bring Excadrill, and then from there, I would probably bring Togekiss. I'm not expecting that many Lumberries. What do you think? I think Togekiss is really solid here. Togekiss is our main weakness policy. It's our big damage dealer. Great against Dragon Pulse.
It has Flamethrower, Heat Wave? Yeah, I would bring Togekiss.
Yeah, I would definitely bring Togekiss in this situation.
Okay.
I think this guy's team, very, very solid. If we can not get swept by a Dynamax here, like a Dynamax Dragapult, like just steamrolling one of our Pokemon, that'd be an unfortunate loss early. As long as we can like stabilize on the board, we can be really, really solid going into this one.
And I played around with a team like this similarly last night, as we had talked about previously. And one thing I loved about the Butterfree was how much versatility you have and how much control you have as a lead. Because you can say, like, if you're in a really bad spot, you could just Dynamax it and Befuddle. Like, and it could turn the game around in one move. If you get a lucky sleep or even a clutch paralysis can really make a difference. So we're going to see that fake out pressure there from the Scrafty and the Whimsicott. Yes, this is a really good situation. So, what would you would probably fake out the Whimsicott, and then you could Dynamax and Befuddle if you wanted. Really, is that what you would do?
Yeah. So I think you could. I think that actually the right play here is to fake out the Whimsicott and Dynamax, and I'm thinking actually max airstreaming the Whimsicott, right? So you've got to get that thing off the Warblefort and Tailwind. Butterfree's going to still have the speed boost like it would if it had a its Choice Scarf still, and then from there, like what would they do?
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
What's Scrafty going to do? It has to like Stone Edge us, right? I mean, I guess he could, you know, Dynamax and Fire Punch us or something, but I don't think we actually get grinded by that hard. Yeah. Befuddle would be really cool, and Befuddle might be able to KO the Whimsicott, but I'd rather get the guaranteed speed boost right here, and this also stops him from fake outing our Butterfree, right? That's what he wants to do. He wants to fake out our Butterfree.
Correct, yeah. So, because obviously cannot set the fake out towards the Sableye being a ghost type, which is one of the nice things. Sableye is a Pokemon that doesn't have the greatest base stats, but its Prankster ability allows us to do some really, really cool things that can mess with people. So we're actually going to see the Rotom switch in here, and this is going to turn into a pretty good turn for us because we should be able to fake out, break the Focus Sash on the Whimsicott, and then knock it out with this Max Airstream, as you kind of said. And then from there, it's a matter of navigating around this Rotom, which we really can't hit very hard with the Butterfree, but we can Befuddle. That's a good option. And then Sableye in this situation can foul play, it can quash, it can encore if he tries to protect or something like that. So we'll have to see kind of what this turn is going to play out as, but we should be able to eliminate this Whimsicott at the very least.
The really good thing about this team is the Airstream actually provides a ton of team support. So in this situation, he's probably going to send the Scrafty back out, right? What we can expect to do is we can hard switch in like our Excadrill or our Togekiss, and then Airstream to give those Pokemon that speed boost for the remainder of the game. We might lose our Butterfree, but we're going to trade like 1 or 2 Pokemon for it because we're going to be able to KO that Scrafty when it comes back out. We can go for Befuddle if you wanted to, but you see the situation, this team is all about giving team buffs to the rest of your team, giving team buffs to your Excadrill. Excadrill gives team buffs to the rest of the Pokemon. It's really, really important that this team can Dynamax with most of its Pokemon. Every Pokemon with Sableye has a valuable Dynamax option here.
Okay, so they brought out the Corviknight, so we know Scrafty's in the back. So how would you approach this? You have a couple different options. We don't want that Corviknight to set up on us. Ideally, we get our Togekiss out there at some point because that's going to be our best way to deal with the Corviknight. Would you Befuddle into the Rotom here and just go for the Paralysis, or would you make the swap into the Excadrill or the Togekiss and then give yourself a fake out later? You still do the Airstream play?
I think Befuddle is a great play here, but let's see. Befuddle is a really good play. I mean, there's also arguments to make for even foul playing a Corviknight here, trying to like pick up a couple of cheeky KOs. I think we need to switch the Sableye out, right? We need to switch Sableye out. But let's see. Do you think? I think Excadrill is a solid switch in here. Yeah, I think Excadrill is a solid switch in here, and I think you just gotta go for the Befuddle. Worst case scenario, you lose the Butterfree. If you lose the Butterfree or he sets up, one really good thing about Sableye is that it has the Encore. So you were talking about stopping it from setting up.
Yeah.
You know.
Would you target the Corviknight or would you target
I'd target the Corviknight. With the let's see.
I already
Corviknight's fine.
That's all
right.
right.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I think the Corviknight's going to be more of an issue. Like, even though we're doing reduced damage to Corviknight, I want to scout if there's leftovers on there, so that's really important.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to one-shot this Rotom whenever we feel like it. And this is an example of why I like the high horsepower over the Earthquake. If they KO our Butterfree, we have to send our Sableye out. I like having the... I don't like having high horsepower and Earthquake. The original team preview that, you know, I don't know if you've seen Zine's team. I know I've featured it. Aaron Zhang's featured it. It uses Earthquake and high horsepower and Excadrill. It's a standard set on this vested set. I personally feel that Rock Slide just provides a lot more synergy for changing weather if you need it. Let's use Dynamax Rotom, and again, Excadrill can come in and just dumpster that thing. Hopefully we roll like a sleep or something.
Yeah,
but...
this is the beauty of Gmax Befuddle here. You get 2 status on both Pokemon here. So we're going to get the Poison on the Rotom, which if that was a sleep, that would have been massive. And we're going to...
looks like we got a Poison on the
Yeah, we got the Poison on the Corviknight. So
I was going to get a Para Poison or something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, yeah, we're going to be able to bulk that out, which is amazing. Butterfree extra thick.
That's crazy.
And yeah, Butterfree is really, really good. And I think, let's see, you going for a Brave Bird. He kills the Butterfree, and I think that's kind of okay, because remember, we want to bring in the rest of our Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, we want to be able to bring in the rest of our stuff. There's arguments to be made for talking about bringing in Sableye here and making it so we can kind of like 1v1 that Rotom.
Yeah.
I don't know if that Rotom, I don't know how bulky it is, because like he wasn't strong enough to KO. Like,
Yeah, so there's a couple plays. My thought here is you could fake out the Corviknight, and then just simply go for the high horsepower to the Rotom.
Yeah, I think that's our best bet. I don't know if we'll KO the Rotom though, because it looks to be really, really thick. That's my only issue there.
Yeah.
I think it's the best bet. I think it's the best bet.
Yeah.
Togekiss is a good like cleanup Pokemon. The thing about Togekiss is it has redirection, right? So let's see how much damage like this does, and let's see if we actually need the redirection. Togekiss can do a lot of damage, but yeah, Fake Out and high horsepower. We'll see how much this does.
Yeah.
And remember, there is poison ticking on it, so
yeah,
we'll
it's gonna lose. It's
and
gonna lose
not
another
like
12%.
Like I said, maxes can sometimes give this team a little bit of an issue. It depends on what they want to max with, though. I'm really happy to see him to go for a defensive max. I think our Excadrill might even be able to live this, because if Butterfree was able to take a one not boosted by Sun that well, Excadrill is like very, very thick on the specialty side, holding an Assault Vest. If we can just live here with Excadrill, we're just gonna win the game.
What's the speed investment on the drill? Is it fast?
The drill is actually full speed with like the rest of its points in mixed defenses.
Okay.
It only has like 20 points in HP because it's made to be a Dynamax mon. He switched out the Corviknight expecting the Fake Out.
So he's gonna get this.
Getting a really good Intimidate here.
Yeah.
Let's see though.
Sorry, we're gonna just crit through it. We'll just crit through it.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna crit easy. Yeah, the easiest crit of our life.
Easy crit, no problem. Not even stressing. Oh, he actually goes to the max guard.
That's actually totally fine because he's wasting his own max turns. And I'd like to see him go for a Fake Out with the Scrafty. I think he is. I think we should probably switch out for Togekiss here. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. So he's. I would assume he goes for a Fake Out and then overheat into that slot. So I think we kind of have to get rid of our Togekiss here.
It's not. It might not even KO. I don't think it will.
Yeah. So we'll swap that out, and then the Sableye here. You can't Encore Max Guard, can you?
No, you can't Encore the Max Guard. The best thing you can probably just do is just foul play the Rotom. I know it sucks to foul play a Rotom, but remember, we're trying to grind this Rotom out, and the Rotom is his last, like, main attacker. Like, we can actually relatively grind out that Corviknight through the use of foul play. So let's see. Goes for a Fake Out.
And then he's probably going to
remember, we can't Encore that Fake Out because Scrafty is a Dark type. See how much damage this deals. Alright, so it's quite a bit of damage. Remember, that is his last turn. Oh, that's his crit. Okay, I was going to be like, actually, our Togekiss is dummy thick. He should not have KO'd it. But it's okay. This actually lets us bring in our Excadrill, which is totally fine. Providing just a little bit of dot damage. And now that he doesn't have that HP boost, now that we're not intimidated, he can go for, like, Protects. But, like, what will Scrafty actually do against an Excadrill? Now, we also have that Horn Drill. If we need to get out of jail free card, that's one of the really good things about Assault Vest Excadrill, is that you can pop that big Horn Drill if you need it. I don't think we should Horn Drill yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think high horsepower to the Rotom here. The problem is, though, he can predict that and go Corviknight here, so that would be the one situation where that goes pretty poorly.
I'm thinking we actually, like, might not do that.
Just go for the Rock Slide?
Well, Rock Slide wouldn't be too good against, like, it's neutral damage against the Corviknight, so it's not even super good. I'm thinking if we can actually try and get that Scrafty off the board. Let's see. Because like Iron Head to Scrafty might be a solid option. Because I think he's gonna switch the Rotom out for Corviknight. I think it's you're agreeing. Like that's great.
I think we Horn Drill. I think we Horn Drill the Scrafty.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm so down.
I think we Horn Drill the Scrafty. I'll foul play the Corviknight coming in. We're gonna Horn Drill the Scrafty and we're gonna hit it 3 times out of 10. Oh, okay.
Oh wow. And you know what? We take these too. What are these protecting with Rotom? Like this is just you like buy one get one free over here. Horn Drill.
Oh.
Never lucky. Never lucky.
Miss.
There's the overheat. You know what? We could have went for it. He got a
I'm actually really surprised about that play because we would have been in the driver's seat, but I think he was resetting the Intimidate there, and it's going to cost us the game. But either way, like, can't be too upset about it. It was entertaining.
Oh, no. Yeah, you got to realize that, like, this is your first game with the team, and we super low rolled that Befuddle, which happens. That totally happens. And we get to see his berry. Look at that extra information. Remember, they always got to treat every single game like it's a best of 3. Like, people, they lose a lot of games on ladder, and they're like, oh, man, I would have won the next game. And it's like, well, think about how you would have won the next game. You know, think about all the different things you can do. Like, try and find as much information as possible. It is pretty important.
Yeah, so no big deal there. But a couple of things like that one play there was big. I think just on paper matchup, our opponent had really good brings. I think in hindsight, it's tough. I think actually Scrafty's just like pretty good against this team too.
Oh yeah, Scrafty's pretty good. It checks the Snorlax too. So like Scrafty, like our team has Snorlax, T-Tar, Excadrill. Like Scrafty is an amazing bring, and we did the crit on the Togekiss is what won the game. We would have definitely lived that. Our Togekiss is like full HP with heavy investment in defenses. And so imagine if like our Togekiss lived long enough to like redirect damage from the Excadrill, and then Excadrill could have went for high horsepower. It would have been a completely different game.
Sableye, really thick here, is going to live another hit.
Dummy thick. Yeah, our Sableye spreads full HP with heavy defense. So you always want to go heavy defense because Sableye is going to be taking a lot more physical attacks in this team than it would in like other teams. Looking by the opponent's team, they're all like mostly physical attackers. I'd like to see if that Corviknight has like some sort of barrier or something. So I really appreciate staying in and actually scouting for that stuff. Because at this point, like, what are you revealing? You know?
Foul play.
Yep. Yeah, I know a lot of people like to run Will-O-Wisp on Sableye, but again, it's not like we could Will-O-Wisp with Scrafty, who is a dark type. I think Foul Play is a really solid option on this Pokemon.
Yeah, and the other thing too, I was just thinking about with the Befuddles and stuff, you don't want to have that sloppy wasted when you have a situation where Butterfree is trying to sleep things normally. So in this situation, we never actually use the sleep, and we got an unfortunate roll on the Corviknight there. But generally, like if you did that same lead where the Sableye Butterfree lead, you want to be able. You're not going to Willow because you're going to be trying to put things to sleep. Generally, we maxed right away. But when I was playing last night, I was mostly trying to sleep things right away. So here we got a very interesting team featuring Zamazenta.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. All right. So in this situation, there's a lot of fire types, but I still do like Butterfree here. I like T-Tar for sure. I'm trying to see if you're obviously Gluttony Lax. Okay.
Yeah. I think in this game, Butterfree is a good Pokemon to bring, but you don't lead with it. Like, so this is a Butterfree can be a Pokemon that you bring in the back to like regain board position. So let's say you're like T-Tar Excadrill, and your Excadrill gets like destroyed by some stupid fire attack, or like a close combat by Arcanine or something. You can bring in Butterfree, restabilize, and just keep it up. I think T-Tar Excadrill is a great lead here, wouldn't you?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. They got a lot of the obviously the fire types, so I think that could be really good. I actually kind of like Snorlax.
Snorlax is a great Pokemon here, yeah. Snorlax can definitely thick these guys out, and it'd be really cool to show off the Gigantamax Snorlax. I think this Pokemon's very good.
Yeah, our opponent has a lot of firepower. I'm assuming that's going to be a G-Max Charizard, so we'll have to be mindful of the Wildfire, but that's where the Tyranitar is really nice, because it can just hit it really, really hard. So we do have to be careful of a potential, like, Grass... Grass Dynamax move or whatever from the Charizard, but let's see what they're going to lead with
this
here.
T-Tar set can actually eat the grass attacks from like a full special attack Charizard. Like a Grass Solar Beam, it can eat it.
Okay.
Yeah,
so we've got
pretty good, dummy thick.
Pretty good matchup here, actually. We'll see if it's Intimidate on the Arcanine. Looks like it's not,
right away,
so Justified, yeah.
It's either Justified or Flash Fire. I would assume it's Justified, right?
I think it's Lava Plume Flareon with Flash Fire Arcanine. What do you think?
That'd be so raw. The only issue here is that, like I said, our T-Tar is a lot slower than normal because it's bulkier. There are arguments to be made for switching it out or protect baiting here, but like I think that you could just click like Rock Slides. Like I don't know, what do you think he's gonna do?
I think he's gonna Lava Plume and boost the power. I think it's Scarf Flareon with Lava Plume.
Oh, that'd be so raw. Do you want to just go for double rock slide?
Yeah, I want to just go for double rock slide, but I'm telling you, we're about to get burned.
I think he actually is going to Dynamax with something and give us a hard time. Cool. I'm super happy to see not Dynamax here. Right?
All right.
I'm so excited.
We're going to double flinch.
Yo, Flinch Town all the way.
Ember, we got the Ember plays.
Oh my gosh, yo, he deserves the burn. He earned it.
Oh my god.
Yo, you know what? The Horn Drill hype is about to be real. Because now we're a Horn Drill
Oh my
bot.
god, that was incredible. This is
100%
casual, my friends. So
yes.
That's the downside. So right now, to practice with Gigantamax, you have to play casual, which is kind of a weird situation, I would say. Do you think, as someone preparing for Dallas, like myself and many people potentially watching, do you think it's in our best interest to do casual with Gigantamax or do ranked without Gigantamax and then make the switch when it's available on ranked?
I think it's the best, actually, to find people in your different communities and connect with them personally and say, like, hey, let's have a best of 3. You know, that way you form friendships, that way you actually, like, get that one-on-one interaction with people so they can, you know, talk about it and see, like, well, what would you have done here? Like, how would you fix my team? I think that's the best way to do it. But I also am more of a fan of casual because this is the minority. You know, more often than not, we're going to fight people like we fought last game that know exactly what they're doing, and they're just testing.
I was gonna Dynamax Max Rockfall into the Charizard here, and then just
Horn drill it.
Horn drill the Zamazenta.
Yeah, because those things can't Dynamax, and you can't Horn drill the Dynamax mons. I mean, Horn drill would be hilarious. Like, our what is it? Worst case, we could potentially proc like a weakness policy if we like just went for a high horsepower.
I like the Horn drill here because we're gonna hit it this time.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You miss every shot you don't take. You know, you gotta give it a shot.
Hilarious. And for people wondering why we have Horn Drill in this set, remember it is an Assault Vest set, and being able to go Dynamax with Extra Drill and use the Max Strike for speed debuff is actually super, super important, because this team has very limited forms of speed control. Compared to other teams, we really rely on like Max Airstreams. We don't have a dedicated Tailwind or Trick Room setter.
And for those wondering,
the premium speed control.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for those wondering, like one-hit KO moves are allowed in VGC. You don't see them often, but once in a while, someone will tech a Sheer Cold on a Lapras or something like that. So here comes our Horn Drill. We missed the Zamazenta. Very unfortunate. Here comes a Behemoth Bash, which is one of the coolest animations of the game.
It does double damage versus Dynamax mons, doesn't it? This might do a lot to our T-Tar.
This
could might actually take quite a bit.
Yeah,
our T-Tar is heavy.
He's a bulky boy. He's a bulky boy.
Our T-Tar, this used to be like a Choppleberry set, very similar.
We're about to eat
and
this.
it's just able to eat it. Oh yeah, we're probably gonna eat it.
Oh wow. We had a little prior damage, so.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
okay.
all right.
We're gonna be able to get him back.
Yeah, we're gonna obliterate this Charizard. Now we can kind of show off the Butterfree as well with the sleep powder. We could just sleep the Zamazenta here in a second.
And there's no sleep clause in this format either.
Yes.
So you can totally put the last one to sleep.
Very good point. No sleep clause, none of that stuff, guys. So don't feel like you're cheesing out. Don't feel guilty. It's part of the game. You know what I mean? It's the other team's responsibility to be aware and carry Lumberries or whatever it may be to protect them from those things. It's all part of the strategy. I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of Butterfrees floating around in a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll go Butterfree. We'll just put a nice little sleep, and then we can, what do you got, Max Knuckle on this thing? Yeah, you got Brick Break?
Yeah, I got Max Knuckle.
We can just Max Knuckle.
The Max Knuckle is boosted off of Brick Break, and I actually think it's really, really smart to have it off. I think every team should have one Brick Break user, because Pokemon like Grimmsnarl using screens.
Oh my god,
there's
so
many
annoying.
popular screen users. And remember, like, what would you have instead? Like low kick? You know, you can't low kick Gigantamax mons because they're not like affected by weight moves.
Yeah.
So I think Brick Break on T-Tar is amazing tech, especially for like the T-Tar mirror.
Yeah. You could also run, get that Court Change Cinderace and just steal their screens.
Oh man, that's the real play. Surprised how much damage that's doing.
Yeah, and that's obviously going to give us attack raise because it's a fighting type Dynamax move, which is very nice. Now, the Zamazenta has done 1 turn of sleep, so it could, in theory, wake up here, but we could just double into it again. We'll just go for that.
I think you just switch out the Butterfree because we're scarfed. So like you just switch it out, come in with a Snorlax, and then if you ever need to reapply the sleep, you just reapply it. Always make it so your Butterfree can get out of dodge when you're stuck in Scarf. Normally you want to Scarf multiple Mons, or like Sleep Powder like multiple Mons, or you know like go for Sleep Powder on one and the next turn like Dynamax and use like a Max Airstream or something.
What's the?
And also this gives your Snorlax an attack boost.
So actually, a question for you. I've been meaning to look this up myself, but it's a good learning experience. So every Pokemon when it gets put to sleep has 1 turn of sleep. So since we slept the Zamazenta, it tried to attack, couldn't attack because it was the first turn of sleep. What's the percentage chance that it wakes up on the second turn? Is it 50%?
Yeah, so like they can be asleep for up to 3 turns. So like it just, I think the way I've always looked at it is, you know, there's the first turn they have to be asleep, the second turn they can wake up, you know, the third turn, that's the 50-50. So I think it's like a 66 or something like that they can wake up on the second turn.
Yeah, I have to take a look because I'm actually not sure. I have to learn what that is. It'd be nice to, like, definitely something to know before entering a tournament with this guy, because you're going to get a lot of sleeps with Butterfree, and you definitely want to know what your chances are of the Pokemon staying asleep. Are gonna be.
And remember, like, when you're playing with, like, sorry, that was a bunch of damage on that Zamazenta. Good thing we got those boosts on our Snorlax, right? We're going to be able to grind this guy out. It's going to take a little bit, but remember, guys, the reason why Sleep Powder works so well on Butterfree while we're hitting all our Sleep Powders is because we have the Compoundize ability. It raises your Pokemon's accuracy, and so that's why we're able to go for these Sleep Powders without the fear of really missing.
Actually, question for you. I almost feel like, yeah, I think Sleep Powder's probably the safest. I was going to say Hurricane,
Sleep Powder's still the correct play. And just should take 2 or 3, because like Zamazenta, even though like, yeah, this is still the play. Were you thinking about Hurricaning?
Yeah, I was gonna Hurricane, but it's
that would suck to miss that.
Yeah, if you miss, you lose. So
yeah, and that one can miss because it's a little bit less accurate than Sleep Powder. And we should be able to get him out. It should take 2 facades, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And so he has to be asleep this turn. Sandstorm's gonna subside, and he can't even like one-shot our Lax anyways. So we're totally fine. As long as you don't Sleep Powder your own Lax, you're in a good spot.
Wait, should I? Just for the memes? Just
I mean, I self-quashed myself the other day. I was using self-quash to like play around Fandom Force and stuff like that.
Oh my god, I threw a game the other day. I had it in the bag. I set Trick Room. I was good. I knew that was my win con. And then I bulldozed the other Pokemon, and it was slower than the Pokemon I had in the bag.
Oh, yeah.
I was like so mad at myself. I'm like, what did I just do, guys? That was so dumb. But we're going to take that W there against Legendary, which is always nice. And got a nice little opportunity there to kind of showcase the 2 different ways that Butterfree can function in the first game. While the game didn't go very well, you could see that it can Dynamax, it can boost the partner's speed, it can obviously status things with the Gmax Befuddle, which is really cool. And then you also saw Butterfree coming out of the back as a secondary option to put things to sleep and really provide quite a bit of damage there. It actually put in a lot of work there, putting out that Zamazenta to sleep there. We didn't really show the Snorlax too much, but that's for you guys to play around with, so feel free to grab this rental team from THATSAplusONE here. And do you have any final thoughts or words you wanted to say about maybe yourself or this team or anything like that? Any words of wisdom?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to thank you again for having me on here and showing your audience what VGC is really all about. For all the people looking to step into VGC or even to get into like competitive Pokemon singles or doubles, I just want to challenge you guys to like actually use your favorites. And if it's hard to actually win with your favorites, there's always ways to win. You just got to keep on trying, keep on moving and grooving and adding new Pokemon that you might not think could actually support those Pokemon. I think that Pokemon is a game that everyone has the potential to win with their favorites, and that's what we try and show on our channels here. So,
I love it.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much, guys. Be sure to check out the description below to check out Philip's channel. It's THATSAplusONE, and he is the Butterfree Master. So I can't wait to see the content that you bring moving forward here, guys. Hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you guys are new. Let us know what your favorite Pokemon was on this team. Feel free to try out the team yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of our Road to Regionals Dallas series, where I feature the top VGC players in the world, and we learn a little bit about VGC and hopefully destroy some kids on the online ladder. I'll see you guys in the next one. For myself, THATSAplusONE. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace out.